Setting up a field display. The field display provides basic match and timing information for teams and volunteers on an active competition field. If live scoring is enabled, it also provides live score information. Field displays are used for both small and large events. Teams and volunteers rely on the field displays to keep track of the state of a match. For a small event, the field display can be run on the same machine as the scoring server if the computer has support for an external monitor. For larger events, multiple field displays can connect to the server through an IP network. FIRST recommends using a wired network connection whenever possible to minimize wireless interference with the competition robots. Before you can set up a field display, you will need to know the IP address of the scoring system server. The Scorekeeper can provide you with this address. The address is visible at the top of the scoring server user interface. Also, before you can set up a remote display, you will need to display user ID and password for your event. By default, the scoring timing displays are private and not accessible without an authorized user account. There should be a default account and password created for the field display. The Scorekeeper can view this user ID and password information in the default account screen, which is accessible from the event's dashboard. Once you have verified the IP address of the server and have a valid user ID and password, you can set up your field display. Launch Google Chrome browser on your display computer. Note that Chrome is the recommended browser for this application. Type in the IP address to navigate to the system server. When you first arrive at the scoring system's homepage, click on the Login link in the upper right-hand corner of the screen and log into the system with the valid field display user ID and password. Note that if you're running the field display on the same machine as your scoring server, you will want to use the local account instead. This will allow you to have a browser window dedicated to the field display and another browser window dedicated to administering and scoring the event. After you log in, you should see a listing of available events. Click on the event that you want to track in your field display. Note that if you only have a single event on your server, the system should automatically display the event's homepage. In the event homepage for your selected event, click on the Scoring Timing Displays link. The display should appear with the Settings dialog box open. Note that after you close the Settings dialog, you can reopen it by clicking anywhere on the page while holding down the Control key. The audio testing buttons at the top of the dialog box can be used to play the game audio cues to test the PA system at your event. You can check the mute option if you want this display to be silent during your event. Set the display mode to Field Display. Note that if you have multiple fields defined for your event, you can use this dialog box to bind the display to a field. If you do this, the display will only show activity for the bound field. In our demonstration, our event only has a single field. If you are not using real-time scoring tracking, disable the Show Live Scores option and the display will not display any real-time score information. Once you are done with adjusting the display settings, press the Save button to run the display. Note that display should be shown in full screen mode. Maximize the display screen for your web browser. Once your display has been configured, it should update automatically as the Scorekeeper changes the state of your event.